Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. We're out here in the garden today, and we're going to talk about why you should grow herbs. Now, here in recent years, I've planted more and more herbs and did a lot more research on herbal medicine and natural health. And a lot of the things that we take for granted, and a lot of times we don't even make space in our garden, are a lot of things that our body really needs. And we're not going to go into the medicinal side of it, but we're going to talk about some herbs that you might want to grow that are really good for your health. And we're starting out here. We're at our patch of oregano, and we've got quite a bit this year because we do want to put up a lot. And we've got some sage. And a lot of these are really good herbs for seasoning our food, but they're also really good herbs for our health. I've got some marshmallow plants that I'm growing this year for the first time. I tend to add a few things here and there each year. I've had my catnip, which is, you think catnip, but it's not just for cats. It's got good value for your own self. And we've got some different basils here, but we've got our lemon balm, and we've got our mint, and then we've got some other herbs up here, which we've got our lavender trying to come back. We've got summer savory, and we've got, I can't even remember that, tarragon. But we've got some others around here. A lot of times we don't think of certain medicinal plants. Now, this is not an herb, but it's onions. Onions are really good for your health. And garlic is really good for your health. We've also got our chamomile. Now, this chamomile is actually flowering real small. The weather, hot and cold, has probably made it go a little bit strange this year, but they'll do all right. And right here we have our echinacea coming back. Now, these are some herbs that the echinacea, and I don't know to what zone coldness it'll stay hardy as far as the roots in the ground, how a freeze would affect them. But in our climate down here, this is coming back from the root. Some of it is coming where it's reseeded. All this chamomile is coming back from where it's reseeding. It's not coming back from the roots. Some are doing a lot better than others as far as when they germinated. We have our parsley here. Parsley is another good medicinal herb. You don't think about it that way a lot of times. You just think about it as seasoning or a garnish. And then we have cilantro, which is another really good medicinal herb. And for me, now some they don't like flavors. It's something to do with a gene, but for me, it's also adds a wonderful flavor to my food. We also have some feverfew, and some spearmint. That's a couple more good ones. And we have some small elderberry plants, which elderberry is a wonderful fruit. It's got good health benefits, and it has a wonderful taste, and it's really high in antioxidants. I also have some lemongrass, which I started last year. This is perfect time to get this put out. We have thyme, and I always say you never have enough thyme. And we have dill. And dill has a lot of uses besides just for pickles or putting with your eggs or something like that. But I'm talking about all these herbs and medicinal plants. And the reason for this is a lot of people, they start learning more about natural medicine. And maybe they get supplements in the store. But how good are your supplements? Because supplements aren't regulated like medications. So, as far as the quality, you never know how good it is. We've taken and we harvested chamomile flowers last year, and the way that we preserve them so that we'd have them is we'd take and freeze dry them. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because my daughter, she likes to make a tea with her chamomile flowers and some other herbs. But when she run out of the ones that we had put up, she ordered her some organic ones. And the organic ones she had, they use a different process apparently to preserve them, the way that they dry them. And they were about half the strength of the ones we put up. So that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit more. Growing herbs is good, but when you preserve them, different techniques affects the quality of the product that you have. And with herbs, you want the best quality herb, especially if you're going to plan to use them for medicinal purposes. Now, I did have oregano and ginger, but all I showed you was a spot in the ground because the rhizomes haven't come up yet. But those are two good ones to grow yourself too. And a lot of that is for quality, because when you buy certain herbs like or seasons, if you want to call them that, like turmeric, well, the majority of it comes from India, and they say that it's a little higher metal content, maybe a little more lead and stuff in the powder when you buy it. And if you grow it, you don't have that problem. And I hear a lot of people talk about freeze dryers. I can't justify the cost of a freeze dryer. Well, I was that same way, but my wife wanted one. But after we started taking and freeze drying stuff, we realized that we could justify the cost because the finished preserved product lasted much longer, and it was much better. When we freeze dried, like say our chamomile, which it's going to store a long time because the moisture content is way down, but it doesn't use heat. Now, a lot of you dehydrate, and you've had a dehydrator that you can adjust the temperature on. But when you are using heat like that, you're more likely to cook off some of the oils, and that's what you're wanting to save, is the oils that's inside these different herbs. So now we do dehydrate some things, other medicinal things like cayenne peppers. We do dehydrate them, then we freeze dry them. And it just, because when we just freeze dry them, they powder up really, really small. So if we freeze dry it, shrinks it down, gives it better texture. Then we'll freeze dry the rest of the moisture that the dehydrator didn't take out. And then when we powder it up, it's got a much better consistency, I'd say. But that's the thing when you're drying herbs. One thing that's important is you need to use the lowest setting that you can. The whole idea is you want to get the moisture out fairly quick, but you don't want to cook out the beneficial oils that's in there. And with freeze drying, you can adjust your temperature of your trays so it's at a lower setting, and it's always frozen until it gets ready and it starts pulling vacuum. Okay, today we're going to be planting tobacco seeds. Now this is Havana Gold. There's a lot of different tobaccos, and this one's got about a 75% germination rate. As you can see, these seeds are just super small, like a lot of herb seeds. Now, tobacco is definitely medicinal. I know a lot of people may smoke and want to grow their own tobacco. Recently, I had watched a video where they were talking about nicotine, and the body does have a lot of nicotine receptors in it. And there are foods that contain nicotine. And according to the video, nicotine is not addictive. They've talked to all the manufacturers that make cigarettes, and that's not what's addictive. It's the chemicals they put in. But also, the FDA allows them. There's like 590 different chemicals that they could put in cigarettes. So, tobacco, pipe tobacco, chewing tobacco, whatever. So, if you do smoke, this might be a way to make your habit better. Now, I'm going to try to get a few of these seeds at a time and put them in there. I'm going to put several seeds in each spot. Now I have a lot of seeds there. There was actually 100 in this pack. But what I'm going to try to do is grab a few of these and just drop them off in here. Well, I think I dropped them all right in that spot, which that's going to be a lot of plants that come up. With my big old hands, this might be a hard proposition anyway. Now, tobacco basically at surface germinates, or it's real close, and that's because it's a real small seed. The way I understand it, that it does need light to germinate, in which all my plants go under my grow lights. So when summer coming up, they've got light right off. And these are going to be no different. And once you grow tobacco, now if you're only growing one variety, then you won't have a problem about them cross-pollinating. You can save the seeds every year and grow it again. But some medicinal properties, and I don't normally talk a lot about this. I'm not a herbalist. I'm just more concerned with my health and natural ways. But we're just going to kind of tap these down on here a little bit to firm this up, and then we're going to give them just a little light water. That way we don't worry about them washing all over or raising the potting mix too much. I've already watered this down. It was moistened already, but I've already watered it down, so I won't need much water to do this. But anyway, this is going to be a new herb that I'm going to grow this year, and I would like to encourage everyone to start growing their own medicine. And there's really benefits to it because you can control the quality of what you're having, and that's the main thing that I want to talk to about this video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new. And of course, as always, if you're not a subscriber, you want to see more content like this, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell, select all. Take and give it a big thumbs up, and of course, share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.